Southern California Prep Insider is brought to you by Toyota Dealers of San Diego.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the finals edition, the finals edition of the San Diego Prep Insider Football Podcast. Tommy Morris, Noah Lax, 2017, and Mr. CPED. We are at Southwestern College. We just got done with the Coaches Media Day. You can go check out all of our coaches' interviews for the rest of our social media guys. D5 finals are in the books. Congratulations, Vincent Memorial.
Can we predict those right now?
Yes, exactly.
I
Yeah.
predict Miss Memorial.
No. Chase Carlo, you got all those notes for us. Good. So we got the appetite has been whetted for some finals, but now we've got the glorious 2-day event that is the last football extravaganza here in San Diego for this season. How do you want to do this? Open, down, or Friday? So you want to go Friday then Saturday games?
I think we've already seen enough issues to figure out what days, which games. So
Deal.
Go 4.
We'll go 4, 3, 2, 1. So starting the Division 4 championship, a pair of teams that, honestly, I don't know if this would have been the championship that anybody would have picked.
I literally was 0 for 2 in the picks for the semifinals. I missed both these games.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is the championship that anyone would have picked at the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, that's true. No.
This is a very interesting set of plot lines. We've got on one side, Tommy, the team I thought you were going to endorse the San Diego Cavers there. We got San Diego at now 12-0 after an undefeated season and then 2 playoff wins, taking on the number 4 seeded Monte Vista Monarchs, who have pulled some upsets.
Yeah, they shocked UC. They
pulled some shockers.
Definitely.
They beat UC, and it's now, the battle of who can run the ball a little bit better, the battle of who it can. This one to me seems like it's ball control.
Definitely. We talked to Coach from San Diego, and he said that the game's not going to last very long. He said both teams are going to ground and pound, and that's what we expect. It's going to be a nice running the ball down their throat football. It's going to be great defensive football, and it's going to be exciting to see. Even though it's a D4 matchup, there's still going to be some quality football playing. There's some quality athletes on both sides of the ball, and I'm going to start with the picks. Can I start with the picks?
Yeah, please, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to go San Diego. Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby. We went there a couple weeks ago, and ever since I've been on the hype train, I think they're going to finish off their glorious season, and shout out to my guys out there.
Should I go last then?
Yeah, we'll let you go last. In a weird way, the one team I would have said that San Diego didn't want was UC, because Casey Granfors and just superstar offense versus offense matchup. But after seeing the way that Monte Vista shut UC's offense down, I'm kind of like, oh, maybe there's some changes that need to happen. San Diego's going to really have to rely heavily on the run game. Monte Vista doesn't turn the ball over. It's going to be close. It's going to be San Diego finishing with a perfect season, though.
I call this is going to be one of those, it's a meme game. Are you familiar with the Spider-Man meme with the Spider-Man pointing at the other Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That's literally what this game's going to be. There's very similar teams going at each other. They've probably seen the other teams play in practice all season long because they basically run a similar style offense. Really impressed with Monte Vista's win last week, which is why I'm definitely going to... Just kidding. I'm going to finally do it. I will finally pick the San Diego Cavers. All 3 of us are picking them. I'm sorry if that ruins the billboard material. Prove me right this time, guys. You proved me wrong 2 weeks in a row. Going with the Cavers.
Moving on to the Division 3 game, the Southwest El Centro Eagles are coming in to play the Santa Fe Christian Eagles. So
the Eagles will win, I probably guarantee.
Yeah, so bring your binoculars. We've got a bird battle here. Guys, number 1, number 2, exactly how the bracket was designed and set up to play out. So a little bit different feel, devoid of the upset. All that being said, this to me is almost carbon copy of the previous game. It's possession. It's ground and pound. It sort of shows that at certain levels of football, you just need to hold on to the ball and execute. And that being said, Southwest is a little more straightforward, and they overpower things. I just don't see, after the beating that they put on Hilltop, I just don't see any way, shape, or form that Santa Fe is going to keep it close, but it's going to be a Southwestern win.
I'll be the contrarian on this one. I'm going to take Santa Fe Christian. Reason why I like the strength of schedule a lot. This is a team that's not afraid. Anyone, they play Torrey Pines 2 years in a row. They will play against anyone. They don't care about their roster size. They don't care about their school size. They don't care about their physical size. They will go and they'll punch you in the mouth. They will play football. I'm going to take Santa Fe Christian in this one. Southwest EC, great season so far. Again, one of the teams that's way out there, hard to watch them, but we can recap it every single week. They have been consistently doing their thing, but I'm going to take Santa Fe Christian.
Yeah, shout out to Southwest EC, man. Again, we've been saying this all year. We didn't really expect much from Southwest EC, particularly because they're so far. But they've proven week in and week out that they're a great football team, and I expect them to perform at a high level this weekend. But I too will go with Santa Fe Christian. Like Tommy said, they played Torrey Pines. They played Torrey Pines continuously. They've played Olympian, who's in Division I. They played Bishops, who's a top seed in Division II, and they're a Division III team. So I think that's going to play a lot into their experience this weekend. And I feel like even though there's no Dimitri Washington, they've proved that they could win without their best players in blowout fashion. I mean, no star player, no problem. It's been a next man up mentality, kind of like the Patriots. And I think they're going to win. they next man up, and I like that.
I love that. The mic now. If you're starting,
I got Santa Fe Christian
and SFC football. SFC football is way more likable. Our next game, the Division II bracket, is Ramona, the Bulldogs, the number 1 seed. They are taking on the underdog of all of the playoffs. That is Steel Canyon, the number 7 seed. Guys, this one is a battle of. You can't count out a team after a couple of losses versus you need to respect a team despite not having notoriety wins. This is 2 teams that both need this win to sort of cement their respective takes on the season. Ramona, yet to really be super challenged. They're going to get their biggest challenge yet in Steel Canyon. I think that Steel Canyon is a team that is kind of, that 7 seed is a little deceitful. It doesn't quite match up the skill set that they have when they are running at their best. If Steel can stay healthy-ish, I know that everyone's not at 100%, but if they can stay healthy-ish, I think they take this one in a narrow game.
Wow. This is probably the second most confusing game for me to pick, along with the Open Division game, because these teams are so matched up well evenly. I think the difference maker for me was the way Ramona handled playing Otay last week. I mean, they just dominated. They were so physical against an already physical Otay Ranch team. They shut down the run. They've just played smash mouth football, like classic Ramona football, and I feel like that's the difference for me. When Steel Canyon barely beat Otay by 1 point, and Ramona was able to just dominate. I still think Steel Canyon's going to put on a great performance. It's going to be a very close game, but I do think Ramona's going to pull it out at the end.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why Ramona hasn't lost all year. They unfortunately are Division II. They didn't get a chance to be in Division I or Open, but I'm going to take Ramona in this one. They clearly, I think, are the class of Division II.
On to the Division I bracket, number 1 versus number 2. Second bracket to play out like that. We got El Camino playing Eastlake. This one, I could blab about it, but I've hated on both of these teams and picked against or for. I mean, to me, this one is going to come down to who can control the clock. And if Eastlake can do their ground and pound running game, they should win this one. Also, if they just return punts left and right, like Jalen Jackson and company can, then they win that anyway. But El Camino is a team that has won 4 games in the last minute. Wow. So they know how to look up at the clock and be like, oh, whatever, we're down 7 with 2.5, we're down 10 with 4. Like, I don't think that they are a team that's intimidated or fazed by being down late. So Eastlake's going to have to hold on to the ball, going to have some really long, physical, grinded-out drives, but I think they're going to get the win.
I'm going to go with Eastlake. I feel like they have that combination of run-pass. Their quarterback, Daniel Amon, he's had 16 touchdown passes this year, and he has great weapons in Micah Piella-Wiggs and Jalen Jackson. I think the O-line is built for championship football with Billy Dunkel and company. I feel like Jalen Graham on the defensive side of the ball, they have a championship D-line, and I feel like South Bay is going to pull it out in this one.
I assume there's going to be a good show out here from the South Bay, from all the schools, trying to root on Eastlake. There's a lot of pride down in this up. I know he's smiling because he knows it's true. However, I'm going to be the one to take El Camino. I think El Camino, while they've been inconsistent all year, when they turn it on, they turn it on. I find it very hard to believe that in the bright lights, or it's Friday night, right? This game is Friday night. So, yeah, the bright lights. I didn't want to make sure I want to get that right. Big stage, championship game. I think they'll show up for this one, and they will play well. Jaden Casey and the fellas. I'm gonna take Eastlake, El Camino, but I think it will be very, very, very close. Sorry.
If Jaden Casey throws like a last-second touchdown to win this one, that'll just be the icing on the cake for a season where you come back and win all those games. Last game, open division. Actually, guys, interestingly enough, to bring just the season kind of full circle, I was talking with Coach Owens from Helix. They both were in the semifinals of the SDSU Passing League tournament, and they both lost very close games to their respective opponents, didn't get to play each other, kind of walked away from the SDSU Passing League saying,
what if?
We'll get them again.
Yeah.
We'll get them again. And now they've got them again. Mission Hills, Helix for the Open Division Championship, for bragging rights, for borderline just like, if the North wins, they come down and take over the South and the East. Like this is conquest. There will be one team that is the best because this is a war. Like
a medieval war.
Yeah, this is we take your land, we burn your crops. This is of any football matchup combination that could have happened in the finals. This is absolute right teams to be playing each other. This is a passing offense versus a good secondary that has not been thoroughly challenged yet this season. This is two good defenses, two good offensive lines. There's no holes.
Yeah.
So it just stops becoming about, what are they weak at and what are teams strongest at? And I think that I just can't pick against Isaiah Wooden being the biggest X factor in the county, even though I feel like Helix kind of wants me to be that guy and just, rip this off and have a Jack Tuttle shirt on and all that. I just don't see any way that with how close defenses have been figuring out this Mission Hills offense that the Helix defense can't be the one to finally figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Helix as well. I feel like two of the key reasons why I'm going for Helix is one, they have very fast team speed. I mean, when you go I'm talking about the defensive line, I'm talking about the offensive line, their ability to pull, their linebackers, they have very tough team speed, and they have power to match with that speed. I think Mission Hills had a hard time with Torrey Pines being a very physical football team, and that's why they gave them good matchup problems. I feel like Helix has the same, and they have speed. I think Elon Noah had an enormous amount of experience last year playing an open division title game as a freshman. I think this year this year against Mission Hills, he's gonna run the ball effectively. And Carson Baker, a lot of people want to say they want to give the advantage to Jack Tuttle. Obviously, he's a great quarterback. Carson Baker has experience in the open division title game, and I think that's going to play him well. I don't think it's a lopsided matchup like everyone thinks as far as when it comes to quarterbacks. And I feel like Isaac Taylor Stewart he has two things, speed and length. And I think that's covering a great Josh Olave. I feel like Josh Olave is going to make Chris Olave. Sorry, he has two other brothers that are also phenomenal football players. Chris Olave is going to make some phenomenal football plays, but I think the size, the length, and the speed of Isaac Taylor Stewart is going to slow him down just a little bit, enough for Helix to pull it out. And then
so Helix only lost this year was to Paraclete, a team from Los Angeles. They're undefeated down here in San Diego. The B team from Utah, I believe, earlier in the season as well. So they've played a lot of good teams. Mission Hills, Jack Tuttle this year has been pretty much unstoppable. We saw him play last year.
Actually unstoppable.
Yeah,
we have not lost yet.
We saw him play last year, and to me, he looked completely different this year from last year. Last year, he was good. This year, he's great. I think Olave has over 100 yards receiving, but Helix has gotten better every week, it feels like, whereas Mission Hills is they got to that point and they stayed there, which is still, undefeated and a great season. But I just feel like Helix keeps getting better every week, and I think the right at the same point right now, but I like Helix.
in a close one.
In a very close one.
Very close one.
In a close one. The only thing missing from this game is Scotty Young coming back and being out there to talk some smack and have some fun with this passing matchup. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great 2 days of finals. We will be there to talk to the players, the coaches, everyone getting their wins. We will also be back afterwards when this is all just a big, dark, empty football field and all the titles have been given out to wrap up a nice, tight little bow. Maybe look forward towards state, yada, yada. That seems like a million miles off right now because we got Friday and Saturday let's get down to business. It's time to get to work and get our champions figured out. For Noah, for Tommy, for Christian, thank you very much for sticking with us all season long, and we will see you guys at the championships.